Hello and welcome to the Wednesday show on Wednesday. Welcome back to the Wednesday show. It is currently June 27th. I'm CJ coming to you pre-recorded from Minnesota. The weather outside is currently 70 and cloudy, same as last time, non-coincidentally. I just want to give a quick update because last time I talked about making sea salt ice cream from Kingdom Hearts, and I did make it, and it turned out really bad because I added too much salt, so much salt that I ended up gagging on it and I had to throw it out. I might try and make it again later, but I am not adding as much salt. You'll probably gasp at how much salt I added. I added like 6 tablespoons of salt, which is a lot. I should only add like 2, probably, to the whole batch. But anyways, getting into the topics for today. So we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That'll be our first topic, and I am going into spoilers on that one. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, just skip that section. It'll be anywhere 5 to 10 minutes long, probably. Then, I got a new short story published, so I'm going to be talking about that for a bit, and we're going to take our little break as always. Then when we come back, we're going to get into Instagram and my troubles with that. And I'm going to be ending the show by talking about Australian comedy group, I should say, called Aunty Donna, or Duna. Well, I got to see them live, and I'll get into that later, and that'll be our show today. So let's get right into it with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Okay, so Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom came out a few days ago, maybe almost a week ago now. So, like I said, this is a spoiler warning, spoiler alert. I'll give you a sec, just skip like 5-10 minutes. If I'm still talking about it, just keep on skipping a couple minutes until you no longer hear about Fallen Kingdom. So, alright. I'll give you like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, spoilers. Let's get right into this crap. So, you've seen the movie, and these characters are like the dumbest people ever. Their motivations are screwed up, and I'm just gonna pull up my review. I'm gonna read my review. I don't really ever read my reviews on here, but I'm reading my review from my website. You can actually check out my blog at the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, this is like the first actual rant I've ever made on my blog. And yeah, I kind of want to get back into this, so I'm just going to read my article. So, alright. So I saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom today with a couple friends, and it was a pretty freaking bad movie. So the plot is simple, or it should be. The main characters have to save the dinosaurs from extinction from the island. Okay, so this movie really sucks. I mean, it's really, really freaking bad. In the beginning of the film, there's basically Dinosaur PETA, who want to save the dinosaurs for some freaking reason, even though if we saved them, there's a good chance a crap ton of people would die. The only reason mammals thrived was because dinosaurs died out. And because of these idiots, they could send us back in time and we would lose out. There's a child actress in this film, and she does a really bad job at, acting. There is a plot twist in the film related to the character later in the film, but the plot twist is basically affects nothing in the actual freaking plot of the movie. She pretty much just runs around crying about everything and is super annoying. There's this one bad guy introduced in the film pretty early on, and this guy will be one of those, surprise, I'm the bad guy kind of characters from the very first millisecond that you see him. I know when I saw this character, I looked at one of my friends and said, he's an antagonist, because I was freaking right. Most of the characters seem to make every intentional bad decision on purpose because they're probably stupid and want to wear it as a badge of pride. Granted, there are a couple cool shots in this film, air quotes around that, and the music is not terrible, it's not bad music, but that doesn't excuse poor acting, writing, and directing. The dinosaur animation is alright at times, but it still does not even come close to comparing to the first film's animation and practical effects. I added that last part there. I almost find this film insulting to call itself part of the Jurassic Park franchise. What a waste. I was tempted to try to get a refund from this film, but I pushed through and I ventured on. Please, for the love of God, save your money and do not see this movie. 2 out of 5. It's rare for me to go below a 2 on a movie. It'd really have to piss me off to go below a 2. I mean, it'd have to be really bad to go below a 2. Okay, so I want to break this down a little more. Yeah, so at the beginning of the film, one of the old characters from the last film, the girl, I forgot her name, but she was like the main love interest girl. She looks completely different from the last film, Jurassic World, and I did not recognize her at all. Not at all. It took me like a couple minutes to actually like have it click, like, oh yeah, that was the one girl, because she looks completely different from the last film. And her attitude seems a bit different too. So yeah, she's basically running Dinosaur PETA. I don't necessarily have anything against PETA myself. But dinosaurs would freaking kill all of us if they got loose. Especially, the herbivores, probably not, but the predators, yeah, we're on, we just knocked ourselves down on the food chain a little bit there. Raptors, T-Rex, yeah, we're dead. So, bad decision, just let them die out. Let nature take its course on this one. Jeez. It was a dumb decision. Okay. Then there's this one bad guy in the movie. that I said, yeah, like, surprise, I'm the bad guy, kind of a thing. And it was like this old, like, gruff military kind of character, and the very first second I saw him, it's like, antagonist. This guy is going to be a bad guy. What I did not expect was how fast he would turn on people. I did not expect that. I knew it would happen the very first millisecond I saw this guy. I did not expect it would happen that fast, though. And by God, he... terrible. Just terrible character. He makes some really dumb decisions that I do not believe any person would make. Like, towards the end of the film, there's the Indoraptor, and I'm talking like I'm assuming you've seen this movie already. But the Indoraptor, it's like this hyper-intelligent raptor thing, right? And he supposedly tranquilizes it, and he gets into the cage with this hyper-intelligent animal that likes to kill things, just so he can get a tooth from it. And this thing is just toying with him, and then kills him. I do not believe any person would do that. You'd have to have an IQ of like 50 to go into a cage with this thing. Or you just want to die by being eaten by a dinosaur for some freaking reason. But, oh my gosh, this guy is just terrible. I don't know why they even added him. Okay, but the movie does start out okay. The very first scene, they're going to retrieve a bone, and it kind of reminds you of, like, the old Jurassic Park movie. It's like, oh, they just kind of hint at it. They do show some stuff a bit, but it's still a little freaky. It's a little scary still. And I can respect the very first scene in this film, but it's all downhill from there. And oh, jeez. I gotta talk about the little girl now. Child actress. She's terrible. She's a terrible actress. I've written about this before with child actors, that they are getting a lot better and are becoming very good. With movies like It or TV shows like Stranger Things, child actors are becoming better. But this little girl reminds me of bad child actors from before the modern film era. Sorry. And there's a plot twist where turns out she's not the granddaughter of this one old guy. She's a clone of that old guy's daughter, even though that adds absolutely freaking nothing to the plot at all. It does not add a single shred of relevance to the plot of this movie. It really pisses me off, though, with this character, because at the end, when all the dinosaurs are trapped, and there's, like, poison gas that leaks out, and the poison gas, it's like, oh, all the dinosaurs are going to die, and then PETA Dinosaur Lady, I'm just going to call her that, she's going to press a button that's going to release them into the wild. Then Chris Pratt, I cannot remember his character's name, so Chris Pratt is like, are you sure you want to do this? And then she's like, no, it's like, it's best to let them die off. How, like, nature was trying to kill them off in the first place, because, they're not supposed to be alive anymore. And plus, it's like, if you let them loose, they'll probably go around killing a ton of people. And then they're like, okay, no, we're not, we're just going to let them die, because even though it's sad watching them die, it's basically the right thing to do, or else probably who knows how many people would be killed by these dinosaurs. We don't know. So it's like, okay, we're just going to let this happen. So they just turn and look. Then all of a sudden the doors start opening because the freaking little girl, she presses the button and releases them. She's like, I can't because they're alive. Yeah, but they're going to go and kill everyone. What? What? No. I refuse to accept this as a good character. So I'm just placing every person in this movie's universe or world that dies from one of those dinosaurs, I'm placing that death on her head. Because she's responsible. She let them out. And every person they kill, that's on her. Screw that actress, screw the little girl, because there's another scene where the Indoraptor's chasing her, and she's just screaming bloody murder, and it's like, okay, you turn the corner, it's like, oh, you could go and hide now, because it's still a little ways back, and it won't see where you hid, but turn the corner, scream, so the thing can pinpoint where you're at. I mean, come on! Terrible acting. And then the Indoraptor, it's only, maybe a year or two old, and it knows how to open a freaking door with its claws. Why? And then they're like, we're gonna weaponize dinosaurs. It's like, yeah, but we have drones and all this other stuff that would be more functional. So I watched this in a video. I don't remember which person said this, but they bring up a good point, and I would love to reference the video in the description, but I don't remember who said this. So the Indoraptor is supposed to be like a prototype, and it attacks things by you point a laser at it, at a target, and it automatically focuses on that. And you press this one button and it gives a sonic sound, and it's supposed to go and kill or attack whatever the laser's pointing at then. And it's like, that's kind of inefficient, because now it just seems like a waste of like time and money and all that, because okay, you have like trained soldiers or troops on the ground, and why don't you just shoot them or use drones instead of sending someone with a dinosaur? It just seems inefficient, and this is a point that was brought up in another video that I saw either this morning or last night or something, but it was completely, yeah, that person was right. So, hooray to that person. And what I thought this film would be, it's like, okay, the majority of this film I was thinking will take place on the island, and they're going to go species to species trying to save. They spend 20 minutes on the entire island. I would think they would kill off a couple of these secondary characters somewhere in the middle. Nope, they all survive. All the main heroes of the movie survive. Come on! And then the animation, and I am going to stick with my guns on this one. Animation, for the most part, is pretty crappy today. Granted, there are some good sequences, like when they're trying to duplicate cars or stuff like that. Very high-class animation. But when they're doing stuff like animals or, creatures or something, it's crap. And animation 10, 20 years ago was way better. Don't believe me? Look at the Balrog from Lord of the Rings. Look at the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. Higher quality than a lot of stuff today. And granted, Jurassic Park had a lot of practical effects too, which I know it's probably, I'm not even sure if it's more expensive anymore. It might still be more expensive, but even if it's more expensive, it's better quality, and these big studio budgets could probably afford to do this, and you'd get a lot more respect from fans if you actually spend, a little modicum of more time than you actually did in the film. Because, I mean, it's like the script, they just brain splattered all their ideas onto the script. They're like, oh, that sounds cool, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. Throw everything at the wall. Okay. Correct all the grammar mistakes in it. Publish without even asking, is this a good movie or not? Will this actually be a good story? I mean, why? I still don't understand why they're going this way or why they're doing it like this. It's just terrible. I mean, you can tell everything looks fake. I mean, it doesn't really boggle your mind. It's like, oh, that looks cool, you know. I mean, there's some neat designs once in a while, but it's like, could have been a lot better. Don't see this movie. Just don't see this movie. It's terrible. I know they're going to make this a trilogy, and I'll probably end up seeing the third one because I'm a sucker for film, but they'd have to do something really drastic to improve this. But even if it's like, one last thing on the plot of this, it's like, oh, we can't let the dinosaurs die out, but you have their genetic material already, so couldn't you just bring them back again? I mean, you have all these, all the genetic material in-house and all that, so couldn't you just recreate them from scratch, like you did with the Indoraptor? I mean, you had all the DNA there. Hello. Just let the ones on the island die out, pick a new island without an active volcano on it, and just restart the whole thing. And maybe add a little modicum of better security than you did before. I mean, 10 seconds of thought could solve this entire film's problems. Seriously, it's terrible. Alright, I think I've ranted long enough on this movie. Well, let's get into it with our next topic, which is my new short story. Okay, so my new short story, I've been talking about this for a while now, and I mean a while, and I've been procrastinating on this one enough, I think. So, my new short story is called Alabaster Boardwalk, subtitled Before the Breaking Fall. So this is a prelude to a series I'm going to be writing called The Breaking Fall, and this short story is a $1.99 on Amazon. Granted, for a short story, that might be a bit of a high price, but I think it's worth it for the world I'm going to be building because it just kind of sets up a couple, well, it does set up a couple characters a little bit, and it builds on what I want to get into. Yeah, I'm just going to read my description. So, 1907, Virginia. Mr. Alabaster Ruthage spends his last day on land before he goes out on a week-long, in air quotes, fishing trip. And while on this trip, he must help overcome a supernatural occurrence. This short story helps set up the world for the Breaking Fall series and acts as the introduction to its world. I am very happy with this work, and I'm going to say it's better than my first short story. I think it's a lot better quality, and you can get like the first you can read the first 2 pages for free on Amazon. I'm looking at the Kindle edition. There is a paperback, and I have no idea why it hasn't shown both. The paperback is $5.99, which, like I said, this still sounds a little expensive, but paperback, the Kindle edition's like 40 pages, and the paperback is 57. That's just due to formatting. But if you do buy the paperback edition, you should be able to get the Kindle version for free. No promises there, because I did enroll it in Matchbook, and yeah, if you buy the paperback, you should be able to get the Kindle for free, because I don't want to cheat you out of too much. But I'm still not making a ton of money off of this. I make decent royalty. I mean, the royalty I think is like 60% across the board for paperbacks, which is decent. But you got to factor in the printing cost too. But yeah, it's not ranked yet or anything. I'm just really excited about this work. And like I said, it's a prelude to the Breaking Fall series. Well, before the Breaking Fall is going to be its own little series too. Yeah. Before the Breaking Fall is going to be its own little series. And it's going to be like a prequel series to the main series. The main series, the first book in the main series is still going to probably be another 2-3 months before I'm done writing the first draft, probably. I'm 14,000 words in to writing that book, and I'm a slow writer, and my goal is to get around 30 to 35,000 words for the first book. I might write a little more, because I'm getting new ideas all the time. So, Alabaster Ruthage, his character, he's an interesting character the more I wrote him. Because he starts off as like this suave kind of guy, you know, like neatly dressed and everything. But he's not necessarily what you would call the most morally put together person. He's a good guy with some character flaws, of course. And I do really enjoy the way the character turned out. I'm just going to read you the first paragraph. I think I'm allowed to do that because I'm in KDP Select and I'm not allowed to put anything more than like a little bit. But, I mean, this is under the free preview as well. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph of this. So, Mr. Alabaster Ruthage walked out of his second-story apartment onto the freshly painted white deck. He lived on the boardwalk in Pillsville, Virginia. It was sunny that day, with scattered clouds. One could feel the ocean breeze come in to greet the early morning riser, as the smooth winds would brush up against your face. I'm terrible at reading aloud, so I apologize. But if you liked that little passage, you know, just go and check out this book. I'm really happy with it, and if you like the world building with it, remember, this is just it's a prequel before the actual series. So I'm not sure if you would call it a prequel, but yeah, the Breaking Fall series, it is going to combine a lot of supernatural elements from multiple mythologies. And I'm very proud of this work. I'm very happy with the results of this. So just type in Alabaster Boardwalk on Amazon, and you should be able to find this pretty quickly. It should be in the top couple results. If you see like the $5.99 version, remember that's just the paperback. Check out the Kindle edition, which is $1.99, and this is really, in my opinion, some of my better work. You can still get my first work. If you go to my author page, you can see everything. So, The Ice Witch Under Lake Superior, I've talked about this. It's subtitled A Midwestern Gothic Horror. It's still good. That one's 99 cents. It's just Kindle. I did draft a paperback edition, but it's not as good. Or not done, I should say. But that one, yeah, the Kindle edition of my first short story is 99 cents. It's like 33 pages. It's a slow burn horror story. I'm getting tongue twisted today. I don't know why. Sorry. It is a slow burn horror story. And by slow burn, I mean the actual scary stuff doesn't happen until towards the end of the story. And my books, they're not for little kids. Don't have like a little kid read this. I mean, you'd want to be in your mid-teens before you read these books, at minimum. But yeah, I am very happy with how this book has turned out. And Alabaster, I've gotten to know the character more, and he's an interesting character. He's not a great character, but he's still a good character. He's interesting. And I can be self-critical about my own work. It's like, yeah, am I the best writer ever? Heck no, I'm not. Am I a great writer? Probably not. Am I a good writer? Yeah, I think I'm a good writer. I'm better than, I'd say, above average. I don't think I'm like one of the best writers ever or anything, you know, I don't have this massive ego about it, but I think I'm pretty good. So, yeah, if you like supernatural kind of stories, with some mythologies, like, you know, some of the Greek gods, or, well, this one mentions Poseidon a little bit at some point, in a reference to something, and I'm not going to spoil it, but Poseidon's referenced, I should say. Yeah, so please just check out Alabaster Boardwalk. Just, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you bought the book. And you don't have to buy even the paperback. I'd really appreciate it if you got that. And you should be able to get a free copy of the Kindle edition then. If not, I'm not sure why that's not working, but you should be able to. But yeah, Kindle edition, it says print length 40 pages. And then please just drop a review. That would really help me out a lot, because none of my works have been reviewed yet. And I've had people get a couple of my works, and they tried to review it, and for some reason Amazon didn't let them review it. So I need some reviews, and I'd really appreciate it if you checked out my story and you reviewed it. You know, just tell me what you thought about it. So yeah, Alabaster Boardwalk, and it's not going to be part of the ads this time in our little break, but it will be next time, or it should be. So we're going to take our little break now, and we're going to get back into it with Instagram. Alright, if you haven't checked out my blog yet, you can check out my blog at the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. That's the-quintessentialist.blogspot.com. I mostly do movie reviews on that, so go and check that out, please. I also have my Midwestern Gothic short story out titled The Ice Witch Under Lake Superior. You can find that on Amazon.com. If you're a short story writer and you need someone to beta read your short story, you can check out my beta reading service, my honest beta reading service on Fiverr.com. There'll be a link in the description of this podcast for that. So, if you're a short story writer and you need a beta reader, check out my service. Now back to the show. Okay, welcome back to the show. So, I want to talk a little bit about my Instagram. And I've been on Instagram for a couple weeks now. And if you go onto my blog, there's a link to my Instagram, and I have 21 followers, which, you know, 21 followers is okay. And it'd be cool if I got more, but I think some of my pictures are pretty darn good, and I'm not just saying that to break myself up. I actually mean I think some of these pictures are pretty darn good, and I think they should get a little more love than they are. So, I mean, if you like pictures, photography at all, yeah, I'd say check out my page, because it's pretty good. I honestly, I'm not just saying that to hype myself up. I mean, I am hyping myself up, but it is good. They are good pictures. I mean, maybe there's one or two bad ones in the whole pile, but I post usually twice a day, and I think there are a lot of good pictures in here. Yeah, I want to try and get my followers up a bit, because I do want to share some pictures I have. There's some really cool ones. So you probably want to know what kind of stuff I'm posting. I know you're only supposed to stick with like one niche for your Instagram, but I have a couple of things that I like to post. So I post some stuff about food, architecture, my artwork, and just some other people's artwork in general, and some pictures from walks I go on. I mean, that's my Instagram. I'm going to look for my most highly rated picture. 19. Okay. Do I have anything beyond 20 likes? Yeah, 20 likes is the most I got on a picture, and it's of guacamole. And it was actually really good guacamole. I think I threw in the recipe there, yeah. I used 1 avocado, 1 table onion, salt to taste, and a lemon wedge. It's very good guacamole, just mash it with a fork. Some of my architecture photos, I think, are very good. It's really cool, some of these photos. I mean, honestly, I think they should be getting a little more love than they are. And I am hyping myself up, but if you want to just follow, if you just want to go straight to Instagram and look me up, my Instagram tag is the Quintessentialist 2018, and I have a profile picture of a brownie. Currently I have 43 posts, 21 followers, and I'm following 7 people. But if you know how to get to my blog, if you look on the top, there's going to be a little button there that says Instagram. Just click on that, and it'll take you straight to my Instagram account. So, yeah. I just want to talk a little bit about my Instagram, and I'm very happy with a lot of my pictures. So let's get into our last topic of the day, which is Aunty Donna. Okay, so a couple nights ago, was it last week now, or? No. Yeah, it was last week. It was Thursday last week, I believe. Yeah, Thursday. I went out to see a comedy show with one of my friends, and we went to see Aunty Donna. And I don't know why I thought they were a Canadian comedy group, but I did think they were a Canadian comedy group. But they're not, they're Australian. Sorry, guys. But they were pretty funny. It was actually the very first, besides going to the Renaissance Festival, because they always have open air comedy, and I sit through that. But first paid comedy show that I went to, their first ones, and they had some good jokes. I'll just share, one of the jokes they said, and they were talking about facts, and they eventually got into, more lies and all that, and it was kind of funny. But one of the facts they said is, did you know you can see the Great Wall of China all the way from China? That is such a dad joke. They also did this one other joke where it's then there's the man that loves the man that loves December 31st, it's the last day of the year. So they did this little sketch comedy where they had, it was at the office, and one guy's oh yeah, I'll see you Monday. And then the other employee's see you next year. And then they're It was kind of funny because when they were talking about doing that sketch, I'm thinking, my dad would do that. That is something my dad would definitely do. It was kind of funny just seeing that happen, because my dad would really get into that, and he actually does make those kind of jokes sometimes. Whenever it's the last couple days of the year, and I'll be well, see you next week or something. I'll be see you next year. And he just does those jokes. So when they started that joke, I just thought, oh, that's my dad. That's definitely my dad. They have a lot of sketches online. It's kind of hit or miss some with some of their sketches, but some are actually really funny. Bigoted Bill, that's a pretty interesting video. Kind of a music video, kind of funny. There's one called Mark's Face. It's a little funny. What else do we have? Oh, the Smoker's Tree. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, the first comedy show I ever went to, we got into the third row because it was just they open the doors and you just pick a seat pretty much for general admission. And yeah, it was a pretty good show, and we saw them in the Twin Cities. Because, like I said, I'm from Minnesota. So, they were in the Twin Cities, and yeah, they're pretty funny. I mean, there's a couple jokes where it's okay, you're dragging this out a little too long, you could have shortened this maybe a couple minutes, but for the most part, yeah, I really enjoyed the show, and they had some really good comedy. So, let's get into our outro for the day, because that's kind of all I have to say about them. So yeah, check out Aunty Donna. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the show. I hope you have a good day today. I hope this coming week is pretty good for you. And I hope you tune in next time for next week's show. So, yeah, just do all the liking and subscribing and sharing. And you've heard it a million times before from everyone on the internet. So, yeah, just want to say thanks for watching and see you next time.